everybody has so much tape on each other now that we have that potential to really get some of the longer games. And if it's going to be tough to top that previous series that we just witnessed, because that was crazy hype, but these two teams, they're here for a reason, and a top 3 finish is never the target for either of these. These are championship-winning teams through and through. They've had a lot of finals appearances, both of them within the last year, of course clinching some of them for themselves. They want to get the upper bracket route and have more time to study the ultimate opponent.
Yeah, despite the predictions for everybody this tournament being completely wrong, I think seeing these two teams as top 3 is not surprising, though, which is funny. It's just the road to this point has been very unexpected.
Absolutely.
As we have the bounty rune spawn. Yep, Satanic, he will grab the bounty and has to take the blink to get away.
A rare sight. 4 bounties for the same team. PVISION off to a great start here. This is effectively more or less a 1,000 gold lead. It's very close to. Means you're going to arrive with that lane with a little bit more attributes. You're going to get the earlier tangos potentially, and of course for the mid lane, a faster bottle will be very welcome for no one who's already playing a favorable matchup. But here's your best friend. The Satyr Mind Stealer is going to make things a little bit more fair.
Well, you say that. It's a 2 versus 1 then. How could he possibly match up against this? But yeah, this will be an interesting one nonetheless. We have seen the Earthshakers, I mean, literally yesterday we were talking about this. Earthshakers have gotten off to some rough starts, and it just feels like they never get back into the game, but still a very highly touted hero that we're continuing to see in basically every game.
Yeah, we've seen it moved around a little bit. We saw XXS play an offlane Shaker. I personally would love to see some position 4 Shaker. I think it is playable this patch, and a lot of the offlaners actually work quite well. You see a team like PVISION are able to run Monkey King, who is not a strong laner as a 4. So you would think it's also possible for Shaker to perhaps pull a wave or 2, fissure block, and get your offlaner what you need. But it's almost exclusively been in that core position now. A really nice head start mid from Malrine, 5 and 4 against the 1 and 2 and Queen. And for no one, this is a lane that you can't ignore the mental aspect of playing a favorite matchup and just losing to a Chen creep. It's really frustrating, but there's not really anything you can do about it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Has the level in Shadow Strike right now. We'll see how many points he wants to put in this matchup. But Malrine, I feel like of all the people that play the Earthshaker, he's been, maybe it's just confirmation bias, but he's been the most consistent, it feels
I would
like,
agree with that.
Tournament.
And it's not only this, I would also say his Sand King. We've seen some, to put it bluntly, some pretty underwhelming Sand King games on the main stage, like a lot of missed spells, perhaps some positioning errors, but Malrine to me has been the gold standard of this tournament on those 2 specific heroes. Therefore, I think it's really valuable for them to give this Chen creep to mid. If they didn't do it and he would be losing this lane, you're losing a lot of the momentum that this guy brings to the team. Many of the games and the tournaments they've won this year have been off of Malrine getting active early, as he is playing with one of the greedier offlane players in the tournament, in Amar, of course. And I think if there's one word to describe Falcons as a team for its entirety of its history, it is greedy, right?
Yeah.
They always farm. Snake King, maybe the position 5 in the scene that gets the most last hits on average, I would think. Just has some ridiculous farming performance.
And I feel like a person that gets lost in the shuffle is actually Skeeter. He maybe doesn't take the most farm, even though he is position 1. He feels like he is the most consistent because Malrine and Amar, they take up a lot of space. They're very flashy, but the steadiest one on the team, I feel like, is actually Skeeter, which is not very common for like a position 1.
I think Falcons deserve credit for finding a way to somehow run out of farm on the map so that Skeeter can't get a position 1 farm every game, but that's just how efficient they are.
Boundless Strike, Malrine.
9 class.
Yeah, not much he can do here. Shadow Strike applied. First blood to no one and PVISION. So at first, getting some help with the creep was Malrine, but now the Monkey King on the other side will even things out.
Something I was curious to see in this series in particular going into today was how Falcons were going to approach the first phase, because in my opinion, PVISION are not holding their cards close to their chest with how they draft in phase 1. It's always this Monkey King or this Slark. You banned one but gave away the other. I was wondering if they were going to ban both and try to take some different trade, but so far, 9 class on this Monkey King with a ridiculous win rate gets to play it again. And you're seeing why with that first blood mid.
Well, depending on how this game goes, maybe you'll get your wish in game 2. Obviously very early on, but when you think of 9 class, you think of easily the most annoying position 4 in Dota today. He just plays weird. I mean, not that Monkey King 4 is that weird, but the Slark he's brought into the fray as a support, much to everybody's chagrin in terms of pubs. That's always terrible, it feels like.
In a way, he actually reminds me, this is a pretty long throwback, but he reminds me of a developed Maybe Next Time. If you remember how he was playing like Ricky and Bounty Hunter and just roaming around the map, killing couriers just like this, ganking mid,
Yeah.
you know, just all over the place. That style seems to work very well for him right now. And I was wondering, nobody seems to really be copying him either. We're seeing no teams in this tournament really try to run a Force Lark except him. In previous tournaments, some teams tried without as much success, so maybe it just is one of those true specialty heroes that require a lot of practice and or just, you know, instinct.
Yeah, it feels like to be a support Slark, you have to be a true degenerate, which most of us feel like we are, but maybe not on the same level as 9 class.
Yeah, there's always someone who's more degen than you, as the saying goes.
Yeah, that is definitely a saying. 9 class
seeing
gonna
Snake
spot
here.
Snake. Snake spots him as well, but the Tango out.
You can tell Snaking running with the Quelling Blade Chen, just trying to cut away trees from the MK to work with. Not a common sight. On support, you more or less exclusively buy this item against Nature's Prophet because of the Sprout, but this is the one other hero that it does have some merit against. Plus on another scouting mission. And, well, he might just get another courier kill here. Nope, he went the wrong way. I say wrong.
Well,
Could be a dive potential here. We're getting 6 now on No One's Queen of Pain. This is a great moment of opportunity if you could find the connection.
now let's see how patient he wants to be. You're right. Sonic Wave at the ready as Malrine getting pretty close to having the Echo. We have to pay attention if they're going to start stacking these the triangle creeps. So far, the big camp is blocked, so that's not going to happen. As Crit will run into Ducalis, and here's the Monkey King from above. Looks like another kill going the way of PVISION. So 2-0 start. I'm going to make sure that there aren't any ancient stacks as 9 class just all over the place, which means that bottom lane kind of just left alone for DM, who we've talked about so many times before, one of the best Enigma players in the game.
It seems like a big part of the equation for this PVISION team when they're running the Monkey King is help bottom for a couple of waves and then make sure whatever hero DM is playing can be independent for a while. Enigma, a good one for that. You get level 3. If the lane is terrible, you can always jungle. You can maybe pull the waves with an Eidolon if you're clutch with it. Yeah, I think overall PVISION probably quite happy with the start here. But as we say that, you look across the chorus, everybody's got pretty good last hits on the side of Falcons, so I don't think they have any reason to be too concerned. Oh, Fred, a little bit of a misstep there. Might actually fail the stack. He stopped his attack animation.
Ooh,
Yep,
yeah,
that
that's
is
unfortunate.
narrowly failed, not blocked, but now he might come to the conclusion that it is blocked and waste a sentry too, perhaps, if he thought he was on time there. But yeah, a little bit of a mess up.
Well, Wisdom Shrines for both sides, so no stealing shenanigans this time around.
This is looks like a kind of juicy echo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay.
Actually, Monkey King gets a little bit of damage as applied to that as well, half
Imagine
HP.
He was next to the creeps and he just dies.
He's just an innocent bystander, you know, no big deal, just looking from above. Snake King will now be taking some experience in the mid lane while this is happening. He's going to take a Shadow Strike for his troubles, though, as no one has the Sonic Wave, but doesn't want to use it. Not quite enough damage.
Yeah, there was a Healing Lotus and Snaking. I think otherwise no one might have gone for that one, but just enough healing in the tank. And I gotta say, relatively unsurprising, a quite slow start. These two teams are not generally all that explosive in the super early game, but they like to ramp it up when they get their first major items on all 3 of their cores. Gonna take a while for Amar. He's going for the Phase Boots double bracer, so it will be some time before he gets there. And in classic Amar fashion, has of course queued up the Hand of Midas.
At least on Doom, it's kind of normal.
Yeah.
Just sell that bad boy later. One of the more interesting facets in the game for sure. 9 class, shadowing. No one is there with the shield rune. Crit, nice cookie into the tier 2, will survive. This creates a little bit of space, but a lot of rotation from PVISION. Ducalis makes his way over as well. We want to talk a bit about him in just a bit as Amar completely out of mana. Now TP from said Ducalis comes into play. Just needs to get into range as no one joining the party as well, but Amar just simply walking away, although Satanic. Is he going to continue? No.
That is very Honestly, just a pretty poor rotation from PVISION there. They don't have anything to connect on the Doom with. They're obviously hoping to land a Fortune's End and then follow through. But Satanic could not stick on top of the Doom specifically because Amar has the ice armor creeps. This is counteracting. The slow of Anti-Mage does not slow him down enough comparatively, so he can still run away with phase boots. Of course, the Kobold Cup. So this will fail. Still, PVISION sporting a 1k lead, which effectively means, in the grand scheme of things, nothing has changed since the runes at the beginning of the game.
It's okay. Things will ramp up eventually. I mean, these teams late game are absolute beasts. 9 class runs right into snaking, but an entire army of Zoo creeps greet him on the high ground. He will be able to walk away safely, though, because he is a monkey after all. That's also an animal, in case you're wondering, Cinder. And so talk to me about the Oracle as we see a massive Troll Summoner push. This is a lot of rally damage applied to this tier 1, but this Echo Slam could be insane if he gets close to DM, perhaps. Doesn't have to blink yet. He will use the Echo to clear out the creeps. That must have felt incredible.
Yeah, would you
back to farming.
would you have thought the first 2 Echoes go on creeps, and he still doesn't have blink?
That's true.
He's not quite there yet. But honestly, can you blame him? I think this is a good Echo. You just need to keep stalling out this push. You know you're going to eventually lose this tower.
Yeah.
Falcons are just playing the waiting game. They have a very greedy lineup to start, and they know that what's going to allow them to get across the finish line is to hold the towers as long as possible. Hand of God for Skitter.
Yeah, try to stay alive. Has that ult activated. Trying to apply all the pressure to DM right now. Balance strike from below, the 9 class. There's the first Doom of the game. It's going to be applied to the Enigma, but Skeeter dies first, and now Amar has to run away with no mana whatsoever. Are they going to continue to chase, though? And Amar attempting to get out. Centaur Stomp does hit. Very nicely timed. Amar looks like he's going to end up dropping. So that ends up being a 2-for-1 in favor of PVISION. Looks like DM did get picked off there.
Yeah,
this is a lot of pressure now to the tier 1, though. A lot of
first
space.
Black hole of the game goes on Troll. In the meantime, you're also split pushing top, and you're forcing that response from Falcons. Just immense pressure from these helms right now. Enigma helm, the Anti-Mage helm, and now Monkey King soon will also have a helm.
Seeing some stacks in the triangle for Mallory. Obviously no Echo for 40, but like I said, the Blink Dagger. We'll see if they opt for a smoke around that timing of the cooldown. While we have some time with more Zoo creeps in the mid lane, you want to talk about Ducalis and the Oracle pick, because not the most common save type hero we've been seeing in this tournament.
They picked it as a response to, what did they see? They saw Snap Shaker, I think, at the time. So maybe just that overwhelming magic damage, just wanted the the Fate's Edict against it to cover. And of course, in response, Falcons did grab the Doom, which will counteract the healing. But yeah, you're right. It's cool to see. I've always liked this hero. I think it's very high skill and has a lot of cool skill expression. Maybe a little bit less so than the old version where 2 of the spells were more polarizing, like Fate's Edict was disarming your teammate while giving them immunity, etc. But still a lot of play, and one of the heroes at a pro level that requires the most precise formation. If you're caught out even slightly, your hero can go from a lot of high save impact to having absolutely none.
Yeah.
Very important that he does not get caught by, say, a Shaker this game, or get doomed. I think dooming Oracle can absolutely be worth it.
Oh, Malrine finds one. He has the Echo if they need it, but there's so many stuns to work with. 9 class will be picked off without it. So that is second kill now for Falcons. That is the Blink reveal. Still Echo Slam, though, at the ready, of course.
Yeah. And while all of this is happening, Satanic just having a completely free game on that Anti-Mage. Picked it as a response to the Doom, one of the harder heroes to Doom, of course, with the Reflect, and you're going to naturally buy Manta. You could even buy additional protection later in the game if you need to. And with this early start for Satanic with the early Dom, he's now going for that Battle Fury. Imagine he will have in about 3 minutes. That'll be a very respectable timing. Usually a 16-minute Battle Fury for AM is very slow, but you add a Helm in there and it's very good.
Well, Skeeter has a respectable time of 14 minutes. It's more respectable because he did not go Helm, because as AUI said yesterday, his team is very low skill and cannot control creeps.
Yeah. you too can make top 3 at TI if you feel low skill. Clearly Falcons are proof of that according to their coach.
Yep, the only one to be able to micro is Snake King, but I think Helm of Dom generally won't make sense on his heroes. Maybe one day we can aspire
Just more
to
creeps for Chen, why not?
Yeah, true. Might is pretty close for Amar, as Battle Fury, like we talked about, onto Skeeter is online, so we'll be looking for that second item to be able to start fighting in all likelihood. I mean, do you want to go BKB super fast this game, or does it feel a little bit underwhelming? You do have the Black Hole, Sonic Wave, a lot of ways to get through it.
He is queuing it up. I kind of like Sanjin Yasha here. As you said, what are you really countering?
Oh, Satanic, he actually blinks right into this. Malorine has everything at the ready. Amar as well. Mortimer sketches, there's the Echo Slam. Down goes Satanic. Wrong place, wrong time. They continue to have Doom ultimate at the ready as well.
The biggest kill of the game, and like you said, they don't have to expend Doom, so he can't even feel safe when he comes back that he can just free farm for a while. With Echo on cooldown, you're still not out of the woods if Amar finds you at an opportune moment from the high ground. They're going to try to turn this into some tower pressure up top, but PVISION are in pretty good position with some of their heroes. And now Amar on the receiving end, perhaps.
Yep, DM shows up to the party. They're going to get rooted now. Nice fissure. Going to block off DM, but they have so many stuns, so many slows to work with. Amar does die. 30 seconds in the base now. Looks like that's going to break things up overall.
Who do you think has more Doms between 3 heroes with Dom or Chen? I think this is a philosophical question.
Yeah, that's a great question overall.
Chen has 4 creeps, but they're not as strong. But he has 1 more. And he is in control of all of them himself.
That's true. And he can get Shard to get Ancient, so they become even more powerful.
Midas. A rare sight these days, because everybody who usually buys Midas buys Helm.
It's true. 9 class, hounding crit. Wukong's command is there. No one with the blink. This will be an easy pickoff for PVISION. Trying to get control of this area for the eventual Tormentor, but that's in 4 minutes. Through the gate they go to maybe try to bait Satanic, although he goes into the triangle, so looking for a lowly Skeeter.
Yeah, he's going to be a tricky kill, though. They don't have much to kill him with except the Black Hole, which is part of the reason Troll is such a good pick this game. They're going to try to rotate on him. You may need to probably bring 3 or 4 heroes to make it happen, unless Black Hole is one of the abilities. And even then, there's still Hand of God.
Gonna see the tree. At half HP is the Monkey King. Ducalis in the area, though. That's gonna force Malorine back. That's still a lot of information, though. And there's the battlefield that you talked about with the Helm for Satanic.
17 minutes. And that was after his death, so he would have maybe got it at like 15 and a half. Still looking very healthy.
He's gonna get stuck with the Echo Slam and the Mortimer's Kisses. This isn't enough damage, though. Satanic getting stuck. It's gonna be close. Blinks out to safety, just barely survives.
Zeus ult!
Well,
probably would have been enough either. Close call, but the 4 points in counterspell necessary there. If he had gone for a 4-4-2 build, he dies in that situation. That's probably what most players in his shoes would have done. But just recognizing how much of a magic damage threat there is on him.
Wow, this is quite the Roche attempt. Yeah, they lose Echo Slam. They're like, hey, let's Roche. No big deal. Amar, no one in the area. DM as well. They're going to try to hound him. Prevent that Black Hole coming, but Amar with the Doom upon the Quap. He's in a lot of trouble now, trying to walk it up. They're going to try to hit the Roach first, as Skeeter continuing to pound into him. There's the first Black Hole of the game onto the Earthshaker, but they do get the Aegis onto Skeeter. Malorine falls for this. Sonic Wave, can PVISION try to take advantage of this timing. Boundless Strike on the Snake and gets slowed as well. Looks like this is going to be the second kill for PVISION. Does cost him the Aegis, although Snaking is super tanky. Finally, the Satyr Hadouken takes him out. So in the end, 2 loss for Falcons, but a very surprised Roche.
Yeah, considering they had spent those abilities on AM without killing him, the confidence to go there, I kind of like it still, and it did somewhat work out. I don't really know who you want to say came out on top there, because the Shaker kill is big, and most of the time I would favor the team getting the Aegis for that 2-hero trade. It's just a matter of, can Falcons actually even use it this game? I think it's going to be difficult. You're playing against a lineup that is a really big part of why PVISION has done so well in this tournament. They're extremely good at constantly pushing out these waves, and it's not a surprise that they've run these triple helms this game. They're just going to keep the pressure up, making it that much harder to get that 5-man group up for that Aegis push with Chen. Probably going to just expire.
Yeah, we'll see. 3.5 minutes to make it worth their effort. I mean, at the same time, they are taking away from PVISION. Not that they really have the greatest Roche taking capabilities anyway.
Yeah, PVISION were not going there. That's for sure. They're not ready to take Roche at all. Now DM rocking a pipe, so even more magic protection, of course, for the AM, but this time for the entire team as well. Falcons line up right now. It is heavily magic dependent until the troll really gets there. Oh, that's some nice cleanup from Crit. The shard plus... There's only 2-point scatter blast. When that gets to 4, he's going to clean up these waves no problem.
Yeah, Tier 1 being pressured now by Falcons. Will PVISION try to defend? It looks like they're going to back away and concede it with this Aegis advantage on the Falcons side. Of course, this will create more opportunity for Satanic to just continue to farm that close with that next item.
This is the bigger value of the Roche, is that you are in prime position to take this Tormentor. There's nothing PVISION can do about this. And that was the bigger reward, because I think looking to push more than this would have been tough. You can see on the map, right? You get the Tormentor, but look at mid and bottom. Like, you have to start putting out fires now. 9class spending this opportunity to get some good vision out. Mid is pushing in all the way to the tier 2, and now bot is well underway. Ducalis even getting to work with pushing as Oracle.
Yeah, classic push hero.
Yep. But they have their sights set on another tier 1 perhaps here. This could work. And maybe grab themselves an additional Wisdom Shrine. No skitter for this play, though.
Yep, no one's going to be spotted. Centaur does not stomp in time. Malorine, though, still in the cover of the smoke. Looks like PVISION have already backed away. This could be the 21-minute mark Wisdom Shrine play, though. There's no one.
We got it.
Inside the circle. Malorine coming in with the Echo Slam. Late Mail reflects quite a bit of it. He does take the Shrine of Wisdom, but now his TP canceled, left all alone. Was it worth it? Malorine eventually will fall, and it'll be to 9class, of course, coming in for the last second steal.
It's a pretty rare sight, the Blink Echo TP. Didn't work that time.
And no one's super fast on the blade now, I have to say.
Skitter being pressured quite heavily here by DM, but nobody around to assist either hero.
Yeah, they'd love to be able to burn this Aegis before the timer, but like you were talking about, only about a minute left on it anyway. Not gonna, in all likelihood, find a good opportunity to use it unless they force the issue pretty soon here.
I'm curious to see what Ancient Snaking is gonna find with this Tormentor Shard. Now that he doesn't have to buy it, he can get them even earlier as he's working on his Vlads into pipe. I guess the ideal ones here are the Granite Golem. You're playing with pretty high HP heroes in the Doom and the Troll and Shaker. Not exceptionally high, but Doom has a lot of HP. And then, what should the second one really be? A little bit unsure about that one. So far, he's running the Prowler Aura for the lifesteal and health regen. Definitely strong. And we do get to work on it tier 2. So I wasn't sure if Falcons were going to be able to get here. It took them 3.5 minutes. The Aegis is actually about to expire, but they do make it in time. Yep, and PVISION let them have it.
Peter will take it as the Aegis about to expire, like you said, so likely will now regroup as Satanic's net worth lead just continuing to expand here, has the Manta to go along with the Battle Fury, and we'll be working on the Butterfly next. And now smoke for PVISION, knowing that this Aegis has expired. Of course, DM's Black Hole is going to be front and center of any team fight for PVISION, and likely the biggest concern for Falcons overall.
Of course, don't think we mentioned it, but now that 9class has reached level 9 or higher, the 5 points in Tree Dance is going to be hopping all over with the Simian Stride, reducing the cooldown to 0. This transforms this hero into an absolute nightmare to deal with. Yeah. Hopping around, trying to break smokes. He might be. If he were to jump right now, he would break the smoke on Skitter. staying on the ground for some reason, which is quite unusual for
Amar, he is spotted. The Vlad's now online for Snake King, as this battle is likely to start soon if they can run into each other. So far, like ships in the night. DM has that force staff. We've seen this a couple times now.
Doesn't really feel like PVISION have any incentive to fight for the next 10 minutes. The way they've constructed their lineup, they are happy to go super late against Falcons because there's no reliable counter to the BKB Black Hole Enigma later down the line. Yeah. Anti-Mage wants to get 2 or 3 more items before he really feels comfortable fighting the Troll.
Malrain gonna open it up onto the Enigma with the Mortimer's gets his follow, but he has the pipe, and now they have the TPs. Falcons now on the run. Malrain looking for a good echo, but they're not giving him one. He's just getting stun locked on the sideline.
Oh,
but there's the Doom under Satanic, blinking it all by himself. The echo goes off as Satanic attempting to run away, but Amar's going to continue to handle. Now the right clicks from Skeeter are enough to take out DM in turn. The Doom, there's a false promise to save the Anti-Mage for now. It looks like he will survive. In fact, close to full HP, so could rejoin the fight if they want. Amar forced to BKB, and now in full retreat mode as Satanic is leading the way. Over the high ground, Satanic still has that Mana Void at the ready. Nice boundless strike onto 2 as Falcons just scrambling to get away. But there's the big Mana Void as Skeeter completely out of mana now. 2 dead in this fight. And 3 overall for Falcons. Make it 4 as crit tumbles. So PVISION, great response overall. And the fact that Satanic lived is kind of crazy.
It's just so clutch, right? He gets doomed, and that looks like a very promising setup for Falcons. They use the Troll ulti, but Skitter not quite close enough to fight him in melee form, so he starts fighting at range. And as they're about to get him in kill range, the Force Staff from DM, he just walks in and pushes AM to safety, gets protected by the Oracle. And as soon as that false promise goes out, the fight is lost for Falcons. You just have to try to cut your losses, but that's the thing about this Monkey King 4. How the hell do you get away?
Yeah. And another potential pickoff. Snake King shows himself in his own triangle. How dare he? No one there to clean up swiftly as Amar coming. They are TPing to try to support, but no one able to blink out to safety. 9 class might be in a bit of trouble. As Amar gonna get slowed, and the boundless strike comes up. That's not gonna be enough. So it's still a support for support. It does require many TPs for Falcons to try to get some sort of a response.
This is a major upgrade on the way now for no one. Full Ags just completed. He didn't have any of the components before this, so
yeah, wow.
A massive level up. Playing against multiple melee heroes, you know these Shadow Strikes are going to land. And on the side of Falcons, you don't really have any dispels. Troll doesn't go Ags this game, so he can't really get rid of it. That's going to be a problem. PVISION looking very comfortable, and you can start seeing the makings of Falcons getting a little bit cornered. The waves, once again, are going to be pushed more and more. And with this Battlefield, or excuse me, Butterfly and AM, yeah, they have to bring 3 or 4 heroes to kill him. Even then, if Ducalis is in range behind him with the Blink Dagger, how do you kill AM this game? You have to have 5 items on Troll and have him be uncontested for a long time, getting into that AM.
I'll give them a drubbing they'll not soon forget.
Yeah, Satanic going for Basher next. Into a full Abyssal, so it'll be even harder to take down with the extra HP that comes with that. And Snaking, or Skeeter rather, looks like it will be the SNY, so the extra status resist, but does feel like he needs a +1 item on top of that to really pose a threat against Satanic. It really does feel like it's kind of up to the stun locks that the rest of the lineup have to offer, in addition to Amar's ult.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you have any choice but MKB? And the answer is probably no. He is queuing it up for now. They need his damage to kill AM. It's just such a good pick this game. And when you looked at the options available to Falcons, this might have been the best last pick they had available in the Troll. Even then, still looking tough. They're going to took no one.
Absolutely no damage taken by no one. He's going to be able to get away.
Put a Fate's Edict on him.
Indeed. Oracle. Again, a hero we haven't been seeing too much of, but so far has worked out quite well for PVISION.
And it begs the question, do you buy Nullifier on someone on Falcons to get rid of Fate's Edict? It's like, maybe Doom could.
Yeah,
definitely not the ideal heroes for it.
None of the heroes feel good about purchasing that.
Yeah. An abomination.
As there's now a pipe on the other side, so Snake King finally finds his. And as we already saw, Roche number 2 is up. Falcons were thinking about it, but after the last time. Did cost them quite a bit, but they're going to try for it again. Will PVISION have an idea that this is occurring? Satanic on the other side of the map.
Now they will.
Yep, they will.
This is a pivotal moment for Falcons. There's no way they don't get contested here, and they have to play a
they scan out, they know.
spectacular fight if they want to try to do this. And yeah, well, their roshing isn't even that fast to begin with. And look at the wards on the map. Courtesy of 9 class and Ducalis, they've got really good coverage all around. Look, they're basically cornering Falcons to like 25% of the map unwarded.
No one spots Malrine. Shadow Strike applied right now. There's a BKB for DM, by the way, and I mean, to stop it, you have Doom, and that's it.
Yep.
Unless you get a Basher onto Troll, which even with that is going to be kind of hard to cancel a Black Hole.
Doesn't sound very reliable.
This feels like such a good game for DM going forward now. Even without this lead, it's going to be hard to contest. Back into the pit, Falcons. They're going to continue to get spotted, though. They have so many Helm of the Dom crews, they can always just send in here for Vision. This will never be a freebie, as Roche will now start his way to the other side of the pit. Summer vacation time for him as DM comes in with the Black Hole only on the one. The big Echo Slam onto 3 heroes from Malrine. Everybody's still super healthy, though. Finally, the Troll gets off the ult. Satanic gets doomed to the other side. He's been able to walk his way past the fissure, though. And now there's the big throw from Roche. Enigma in a lot of trouble. Got to get away from that big bad boy as Malrine onto the high ground. He's going to be safe. The Satanic now no longer doomed, wants to fight. Skeeter no longer with the ult, and we've seen this story before. They're going to have to try to run away. They get the stun lock onto no one, though. Stuck inside this area. He's in a lot of trouble, but there's the big mana bite from Satanic, taking out Malrine in turn, and now Falcons likely trying to run away. Snaking gets bashed up, gets destroyed, and now next on the list is Skeeter. 3 dead for Falcons as PVISION honestly relatively easily take this fight, just long and drawn out.
They don't have the damage. They're getting on top of this AM with Doom, but the follow-through is not relevant enough. You find a good echo, it immediately gets piped off. Ducalis didn't even have to ult. They were never in enough danger that they had to cast the False Promise on the Anti-Mage or the Queen of Pain. They're just they're leveraging their tankiness in these fights and exploiting the fact that Falcon's lineup is so heavily reliant on Troll attacking stuff for it to die, but he's just getting kited.
This is already going to be a lane. This is a crazy timing for PVISION. This will be completely free. They get the full lane, everybody remaining with their lives. 20 seconds left on the death timer for Skeeter. And PVISION can just chill because, I mean, it's not like anybody killed Roche.
Yep.
They can just go for that now.
Oh, yeah. By the way, Enigma got tossed twice by Roche.
Oh, twice.
And they still won the fight and without having to use any.
I'm pretty sure
saves.
Roche did more damage than Falcons that fight.
Might have.
And into the pit, Satanic goes, and this is a free one for them.
This could just be the game-ending Aegis. I have a really hard time seeing Falcons kill Satanic twice. Considering the fight that we just saw, I don't think PVISION are going to hesitate to try to end this one out. Enigma now with a Blink Dagger on the way as well for DM, so he's going to have a guaranteed Blink Black Hole. He could probably just BKB Blink Black Hole the Doom, and they just kill him. It's a little bit of a consolation prize here for the side of Falcons. They're getting the Tormentor, which will be a shard for Amar. A little bit of healing for him to stay tankier in the fight, but
not a game changer.
Doesn't really seem to be the problem. If you could kill that shard and get permanent amplified damage on Troll, perhaps that would be a good shard this game.
Yeah, make sure that's in the next patch for sure. Sacrifice your own items so your position 1 can get stronger. Just like the good old Dota 1 days.
Back when you were able to buy items for your teammates.
You buy Rapier for Clinks. I remember those.
Back when you could buy Aegis and it had 3 charges.
Oh yeah, the classic times.
And then it always took a slot in your inventory, you couldn't destroy it. Yeah. We've come a long way since then. Since the good old days of Hans 2 Clinks. Wonder if he was German actually with that nickname.
Let's get a shout out for Clinks with Divine Rapier, everybody.
Very related to the game, of course.
Satanic, 4 minutes on this Aegis. What are they going to be able to accomplish with it? With already a lane of racks, which, I mean, it's not often you see an AM on your doorstep pushing and able to get a full racks.
Also not very often you see him with 500 CS minute 35, but that's where we're going.
True. We have 7 Gale Guards in the game. It does feel like both sides are super tanky.
Yeah.
And like you said, Falcons just lacking damage.
Yeah, that's the primary difference here. One of these teams is not like the other. One of them has the damage.
Maybe they should get... How do they get the damage, Cinderin?
I mean, Troll needs the MKB, and then...
Okay, what else?
Shaker Refresher.
Okay.
I don't see any other solution, and I don't think you're able to take a fight before that. So, at the same time, PVISION aren't necessarily in a hurry. I think they could try to end the game. They don't have to because of how good Enigma is in this game. But I wouldn't mind seeing them at least trying to put the Aegis to good use here and poke and prod Falcons and see if they've got what it takes. There's no reason to give them that refresher on Shaker as well as that Troll MKB if you could finish the game before they get that potential play.
Yeah.
You've got to feel so confident after these multiple fights that Satanic is just seemingly unscathed after being doomed every single time. Now he's going to find himself a little bit of an illusion rune, so it's 5 a.m. now in Germany. When he uses Manta, of course. Sure you didn't understand that. It's fine. It's for the more sophisticated.
It was a combination of me not understanding and not listening to you, which is a common trait between the both of us. That's why we're so good together.
That's every sentence, basically. Thank you for paying attention. Here comes AM.
Panic.
Falcons have to pay attention immediately. This is a fast push with the banner.
Yep.
2 minutes left on Aegis.
The creeps are coming, looking like a juicy Echo Slam potentially, but Satanic has so much resist. He's going to be tough to take down not only once, but twice. DM, Malefice, there's the Abyssal Blade from Satanic. But the cookie on the Skeeter, going to be okay for now, but the tier 3 is not going to be okay. It's already dead. No one creating some space for Satanic, who now gets healed up by Ducalis ever so slowly. And this will be round number 2 onto this mid-barracks. Minute and a half on this Aegis. Not sure if you can just give up this second set. You're going to be able to try to burn this first life of Satanic. DM gets the Midnight Pulse off. Mana Void actually applied to Skeeter. He's very low on mana. He'll have to use the cookie to get away. Nightclass still on the tree line. As his barracks are still falling ever so slowly. Fortification comes out. Wukong's command not so fearsome from this support, but this is the state of affairs now for Falcons as another melee Rax will fall. Amar looking for the backstab potential. Full second lane for Satanic and company with little resistance from Falcons.
He's full HP. They can just keep healing him with the Oracle. Even when Fate's Edict is on cooldown, the damage from Purifying Flames on AM is so insignificant, so it's a much, much bigger heal on him than any other hero. Just spam him back up to nice and healthy, and round number 2.
40 seconds on the Aegis. Amar wants to get aggressive, running around extremely fast. Satanic wants to continue to try to get him. Boundless Strike's not going to hit Satanic. Looking for the Blink Abyssal potential, but no. We'll blink out safely. 30 seconds on Aegis. The Falcons can try to wait. Maybe they can get this Wombo combo onto the AM.
20 seconds.
Big if. 20 seconds now. Onto the high ground. Attempt number 3 onto this base of Falcons. Boundless Strike can slow things down. Satanic will be able to get to tier 3. 10 seconds on Aegis. Will blink out. And it will likely soft reset, if not full. And it feels like Falcons almost have to try to smoke and go for something, but it would be kind of an obvious play as these creeps continue to just enter their base.
You've been struggling against PVISION pushing with 3 Doms all game and having heroes off the map nonstop with the AM split push, the Monkey King cutting waves, the Queen of Pain. Well, try with 2 lanes as well to make matters all that much worse. There's nothing really to write home about in this game for Falcons. It feels a little bit like unless they pull off a miraculous comeback, this is one of those games that can be a little bit demoralizing. Like you're never strung together anything. Yeah. Every time you tried to make a move, the enemy team was too tanky and outplayed you and out-navigated you. They had your number all game with Vision. Yeah, this game has not been close.
They got the early kill on Satanic, and you thought there'd be something there for the future, but his farm has just been out of control as Amar. He's going to be able to get the Doom off onto 9-class. Again, support Monkey King and attempting to run away. And Satanic is going to force the entirety of Falcons back just on his lonesome. See the Monkey King getting very low, and the False Promise will help him survive.
Gonna heal him to full nice and easy, but that is, of course, now False Promise down. However...
Have they needed it?
However, you don't have Doom. So that's a good trade for the side of PVISION. That's the only way you kill AM, it seems like.
Now a Lincoln's on DM, so even less chance to stop this eventual black hole. But we do have a refresher.
Amar finds the count.
Malrine.
Could be a smart.
Absolutely. Get the stun lock. DM is the bigger prize, but Malrine comes with the acro side, but the black hole comes to fruition. Boundless strike from above from 9 classes, a huge sonic wave onto 2. They take out Skeeter. Amar attempting to nightfall away. Will do so successfully, but still 2 dead for Falcons. Buyback available for Skeeter, but you can see PVISION gonna push the envelope and force it out of him. A very aggressive blink as Satanic's gonna work on the building, says Amar. Not able to provide too much resistance to no one. We'll be able to blink out with Oracle nearby. Satanic gets the range. Merrick's wants to go for the killing blow onto Malrine. Midnight Pulse applied from DM. There's the right clicks from Skeeter, not doing anything at this point. Abyssal Blade from Satanic, trying to get out, get onto his ultimate from the Troll Warlord, staying alive just for now, but the rest of PVISION in the air. They do kill Satanic. It's gonna cost Skeeter his dieback though. Malrine dies right outside his fountain. Only 2 alive for Falcons as GG's come out. They do kill Satanic in the end, but it matters not. PVISION take game number 1.